Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Serving with Purpose. I'm Danny.
And I'm Carolina.
And Carolina has a few special announcements really quickly before we get into the show.
Hey guys, we're back for a new season. I want to ask you to please like, subscribe, and do whatever you want, And we are on Reality Network, so this is good serve. So we have exclusive content and many, many more shows coming up. I want to thank everybody for the kind messages, and all of this is possible because of our new guest. So we want to bring him here because a lot of people are asking about how having a show or a podcast. So I'll let Danny introduce our new guest because we want you guys to have a new hobby or a new income or put your voice out on the internet, and he's going to help you with very nice tips. So go ahead and please introduce our guest.
All right, without any further ado, he is a filmmaker and entrepreneur and also the creator and CEO of Mastermind Media. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Mark Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mark. That's so exciting.
He's usually behind the scenes, but now he is front and
I'm
center.
front and center now.
How does it feel?
The lights are brighter on this side. Yeah. I did purchase those lights. So
You did. It makes us look good on camera.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
first of all, congratulations on number one, starting something, right? A lot of people they have the idea, but they don't want to go further because they're worried about what other people think, or they don't realize the amount of hard work and effort it takes. So you guys jumped in and are thriving in this space. So congrats on season 2, and just love what you guys are doing.
Thank you. We couldn't have done it without you, literally. Like you've been
my pleasure.
You have been so helpful and so professional and so informative and, just really a joy to work with and be around. So we just welcome you here and thank you for welcoming us.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
All right.
So, Mark, first question, what is Mastermind Media?
Mastermind Media. So Mastermind with a Y, is how we end up spelling it. I got really lucky with this because we actually used the Wu-Tang name generator. We heard that Childish Gambino found his name on the Wu-Tang name generator, so we used it as well. And so when we put in what I was creating, it came up with Mastermind Entertainment at the time. This was a separate company, but it was spelled with an I, and Mastermind Entertainment was already taken, so we did Mastermind, MYND. And over the years, as it evolved into Mastermind Media, what I've come to realize is we are our client's partner to the digital world, but you can't have a digital brand or presence without understanding who you are and what your message is, and also putting the amount of time and effort it takes to build something substantial. So Mastermind with a Y, the definition is to do what you love, to work your ass off to make things happen, to have the patience to see it through, and to inspire the world in the process. And if that is your alignment, no matter what your brand is or what you're doing, then you can thrive over time. But if it's not, then you don't stand a chance. And by not standing a chance, I mean, it could be super successful, but if you don't have that alignment, then you're not going to be happy while you're growing it, because it's so difficult to grow these days. So you got to be strategic, but you have to put the work in. You have to have the patience. You have to not care what other people are doing. So that's the foundation of what I think every brand is and everyone we work with. But Mastermind Media as a whole is a full service digital media agency. So if somebody wants to start a brand, they come to us, whether it's personal or professional, and then we extract their value, create the content around it, and strategically distribute it across the internet to grow attention, grow numbers. And then eventually you can turn those numbers into dollars once you've created that attention. So that's the foundation of it. We also do like a lot of pitch decks for TV shows and films when people are pitching their projects to studios and production companies and investors. Obviously the podcast studio, this was something we started probably our last venture that we really went all in on, because we saw people, this was the next medium to really go all in. Social media management, branding, logos, graphics, podcasting, and digital media as a whole.
Nice.
How many people are working on the team right now?
On the team, so we have probably 11 across the board. Yeah. So and what I'd like to do over time. Mastermind as a whole is Mastermind World. We also have Mastermind Beauty, which is a beauty business consulting company. Mastermind Music, Mastermind Sports, which are just two little digital entities. But however we can take that message of doing what you love and making your dreams happen, however we can put that in all of these other different sectors of the world.
Nice. You're so, oh my goodness. I just love interview. Like, this is such a different Mark than what we are used to.
What are you typically used to? Like, yeah, what up?
Oh, yes, I knew Mark before.
Yeah,
Right,
You
okay.
come to the board. So I met Mark in 2017. Was the HBO Film Festival. You
Yeah, the
had
New
a
York
movie,
Latino
yes.
Film Festival, yeah.
And since then, you've been consistent and creating. You think the key of success is consistency?
Yeah, I would say so. So yeah, 2017 was a very pivotal time for me because when we went to New York that time, we had a short film that was there. Acting is what I moved to LA almost 20 years ago to pursue, because what I've come to realize is that a lot of times people come to LA to be an actor because that's what we see on the screen, because you don't see the producers or the writers or the directors or all of the, just the behind the scenes of all of these productions. So when I moved to LA, I wanted to be an actor. And that was 2005, the end of 2005. But I came out here and I didn't realize what it actually takes. So I was like, oh, I'm an actor, but I was just in the club all the time. I wasn't doing anything to really push my career. But I also had I needed to grow up, and us men, we need extra time. What's that?
And live a little, right?
Yeah, for sure. To have, especially being an artist or a filmmaker, you got to have life experience. Otherwise, it's empty, which it seems like there's a lot of emptiness in a lot of shows these days.
Yes.
But yeah, so when 2017, I finally started understanding that I needed to take my career into my own hands. So myself, my brother-in-law Paris, who you know, and Andre Ray. So we were all partners in Paris Films, my brother-in-law's production company, and Calixto, who runs the New York Latino Film Festival, that HBO is their biggest sponsor there. He welcomed us there. We had our short film playing there. We started pitching people. And right after that, we won a contest in Detroit that sent us to Sundance for the first time.
Oh, wow.
So it was
That's
like
a big step.
it was like, so it was this huge moment of like all these years of not understanding what I needed to do to find success, then taking it into my own hands and saying, let's use the internet to grow our numbers and to get seen by people. Because once you have the leverage of numbers, then you can walk into a door and say, hey, we want to make this film.
Exactly.
And they're like, well, why do you think we would want to make this film? What's the return on investment? It's like, well, here's a couple million views that people in their comments saying how much they love the piece. It's like, oh, well, okay. This looks really interesting.
Doing numbers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Men lie, women lie.
Numbers don't lie.
Unless they're inflated and purchased, but that's another story.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so in 2017, that was that moment where we started getting noticed for what we had done, because Dre wrote the project, Paris, myself, and Dre all produced it, and then Paris and I acted in it. So a director and two actors producing something, and it was one of my favorite pieces ever. And we've actually completed a pilot as far as the script goes, to then sell it as a TV show. Because anything you're doing on a small form digital presence, you want to use that leverage to make something bigger.
Absolutely.
So we turned it into a TV show, and Dre wrote that. But the opening scene is a man in his car on top of a parking structure. This is my character. Has a gun in his mouth. He's about to shoot himself. And right before he pulls the trigger, he looks out his window and sees another person about to jump off the ledge. So he looks and stops what he's doing, puts the gun down, and goes to save the other guy. And then that's where the whole series unfolds.
Wow.
So number one, it's something super important that we want to make the world better. We've saved lives through even the short film. People have contacted us. We've really developed relationships and helped people. So that's the core of it. We want to really help people through that, but also showing our artistic ability. It did really well on digital media and did well at the New York Latino Film Festival. We got sent to Sundance. And now when we went to Sundance, I actually got I sold my first film, got optioned at Sundance that time.
Whoa.
But it was the culmination of all of the work that we did for 12 years. Finally, and most people would say, 10 years, I'm done. But if you're a lifer in whatever it is you're doing, you allow your career to evolve over time.
Right.
And then that was a huge accomplishment for us. And then that's when I feel like the next chapter of my life really started.
Everything changed.
Yeah.
From that
And I was about a year into Mastermind when you met me.
Okay.
So I had just started managing people's social media accounts with my iPhone. I was actually probably at that time was also living out of my car for the next 2 years and didn't tell my family or anything because I finally figured out what I needed to do to make it work. Quit my job, sold everything I owned, and lived out of my car for 2 years to then eventually make my dreams come true. But I was happy while I was doing it because I was aligned and I didn't care what anybody else thought at that moment.
That is so inspirational. I would have never guessed that story. Like that's wow. What was it that made you realize your purpose? Because for me, I have a daughter and she's now 24 and she's already graduated from college. She's into her career. She's loving life. I'm like, okay, now what the heck do I want to do with my life? Because I just raised my daughter.
Accomplished.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I could check that off the bucket list.
Congratulations. That's like, what a life experience that is.
No, thank you so much. And it took tons of, love, patience, and a community of people, to help. It takes a village to raise a child. So, but now I'm just kind of like, okay, now what do I want to do?
How long had you been waiting to pull the trigger on something like this? Is this something that was like
it was brewing? It was brewing for so long, and I started it initially. I did my former podcast was by myself. It was Let Danny Tell It. And once I kind of got over that because it was more of, okay, I just wanted to do it because I wanted to see what it was about, but I wasn't monetizing, I wasn't growing. I really had no purpose. And then until
we crossed paths.
Yes. And then she gave me my purpose in serving with purpose and came to me with this beautiful idea. And look at where we are now, so. But also still, it's just like I wanted to know what made it for you. What made you wake up and say, okay, this is really what I want to do? Because you came to LA, you were going to be an actor, you were going to do those things, but it really wasn't, I guess, fulfilling or not, or you weren't in that. Like, what made you say, okay, this is what I want to do? Like,
Yeah, so I still love acting too. Okay. It's what I've always said I'm best at. Until probably the last couple of years. And so I actually was in my junior year of high school and I had a decision to make when it comes to electives. You either take public speaking, which I was like, I still don't want to speak in front of anybody at that age.
I know. I was like,
super
no,
young.
Not you, Mark.
Stop it. So I said no to public speaking and I heard that you could just chill on the couch in drama class. Because I was like the baseball player. Right. I wasn't great at school because I didn't care a lot about school, but I would find ways to like cheat and get good grades.
Right.
So it was, a lot of stuff that didn't interest me at that time. History was a big thing that I remember just watching people being able to read everything and then understand it and then take a test and ace it. And I would read the chapter like 3 times and not know anything. I couldn't comprehend. Not that I couldn't comprehend, I just couldn't hold the information.
Retain it, yeah.
And I also thought because of that, I thought I was stupid for a while, right? So, because you have these things like, wait, if Michael Kovaleric can just read this whole book and then just take a test and ace it, maybe I am stupid, right?
Yeah.
But I don't learn that way. I don't learn that way.
Right.
I'm super into history now. And when it comes to audiobooks or podcasts and different ways of learning, then that's my jam. But back then I was like, okay, what can I do? And I would just play baseball and whatever. So Ricky Verville said to take drama class, you could just chill on the couch. So I went in there.
Dude, it's a piece of cake, piece of pie, man.
Yep. And I went in there and we had to do a lip sync.
Okay.
A lip sync that had a storyline. And I was always the kid dancing like Michael Jackson at the dances, right?
Yeah.
The circle. That was me.
Come on.
And so
it was TikTok before TikTok.
Exactly.
Yeah,
on my mom's camcorder from
I would love to see that footage.
Yeah, Tanner actually he edited a video of that.
Tanner.
Yeah.
Hey, Tanner.
Hey, we have a table here. I don't know why you're not just popping up there.
Do it.
Kick off them slides.
It's not fastened into the,
Oh,
touche.
Hey, I'll talk. I'm just saying.
Maybe we could put a little clip.
No, it's a good video.
Oh, that would be amazing.
It's pretty killer.
We could end the show with that clip. Like, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, so keep on watching. Keep that watch time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so I organized my friends. We did Smooth Criminal, and I organized this whole storyline, and it was me dancing, like we were fighting and all this stuff and being a smooth criminal. And after the class, our teacher said, hey, do you guys want to represent drama to the 8th graders coming into the high school, and you get to perform 3 times a day throughout the week. And I was like, wait, I can just perform
And
not
that's
have to go to
credit?
not
I
have to
know,
go to
right?
class. Sign me up.
Sign me up.
Yeah. So I fell in love with performing. Then I did my first musical. I've only done one play. It was a musical, 42nd Street in high school. And this is when I started not caring what other people were thinking. Initially, I was like, I got into, I was not that I was like professional dancing or anything like that. I was just interested I was dancing and got a rise out of people from that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started acting and really applying myself and my interests, I started realizing, wow, I really love this and I'm really great at it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do this for my career. And that time especially, and this was 2003, I graduated high school.
Mm-hmm.
The society was, and parents, everybody was telling you to go to college, and I needed to I needed to say I was doing something.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I'm getting a bachelor's of fine arts at Wright State University. But I didn't really want to go. Eventually I made the decision. I made the decision to move to LA instead.
Okay.
And so, so that's what kind of got me into the world. And then when I got to LA, and all of the creative arts were so accepted, and it was like such a great community. Like you had mentioned, like you need that community around you. People started listening to, like I was writing music and I was hosting, I was doing all of these different creative facets, and I got to really explore that for 10 years. And then that's what really helped me develop all of these skills. And I didn't mean to start a digital agency. When I sold everything and actually sold everything and went all in on a different,
Venture.
Adventure, yeah, it was actually an invention. It was the first smartphone stand that could access the touchscreen.
Oh, okay.
So when you met me, that had just failed, right? So I sold everything I owned, went all in on this invention that could basically, for Snapchat, when it was at its height, you had to push the button down, so you were always at arm's length.
Right.
So I created a stand that could clip to it, hold the button down for you, and prop your phone up so you could be hands-free. And people were really interested in it. I went to go raise all the financing. About 11 months into it, 10 to 11 months into it, we were just getting on to raise the funding. And the biggest risk was that Snapchat would change its functionality. And they did. They just made it so you just switch the button over. And we knew that was the big risk,
Yeah,
but I thought I could get to market earlier than that.
Right.
So now I was left with nothing, living in this 92 Lexus that's about to fall apart. The door on this side, the window doesn't go down. So when I go to drive through, I got to open the door to get my right. All those things.
Yes.
We called it the gentleman's car because the passenger side didn't open from the inside.
Oh, so
you had to get out.
Get out to
Yeah, the gentleman's car.
I love that though.
So then,
character. It was character.
Yeah. But at first I'd be embarrassed, and then you just realize like, wait, this is me. I don't care. I'm doing what I need to do to make things happen. Because what I don't need is to get a BMW so people think I'm doing okay. And now I have a $500 car payment and a $400 insurance bill. And now I got to work another job to pay for that. And then I can't.
With the Joneses.
Take time out of
Yeah. So once you can break through that, that's huge.
Yes.
So when that happened, I was living at my buddy's house for 2 months before his daughter was born, and he asked me to run his Instagram. And then I said, no, I'm going to go back and wait tables at the Griddle on Sunset. And I was like, actually, how much would you?
I love that
Yeah,
place.
my spot.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mine too. But it went away though. Sorry.
It's still there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tuesdays
sorry.
through Sunday.
Thank you. Okay, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Amazing
on that
food.
one.
Great.
Love it.
I waited
Mine was
tables there
Black
for
Magic.
years. Oh, yeah, the Oreos.
Yep.
Yeah, so good. But
You
yeah,
know.
so I was going to go back and wait tables there.
That's crazy.
But that was me trying to fit into the old version of myself. I had just learned all this new business knowledge, and the universe wasn't going to let me go back into that, at least right away. It wasn't that desperate yet. And my buddy asked me to run his Instagram, and I ended up doing it. He paid me $200 a week, and that's enough to stay afloat.
Heck yeah.
And then he introduced me to a restaurant, got another client, et cetera, et cetera.
And then it just built from there. You built your entire client.
Yeah,
just from the
slowly but surely.
ground up.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is those first 10 years of me hosting and modeling and doing music and doing acting and directing and producing, trying these different things.
Yeah.
I bring that to our company now to be able to say, "Oh, you guys want to host a show? Okay, well, I've done AfterBuzz TV podcast for the last 5 years for American Idol and The Voice. I didn't. This wasn't my idea to get coffee cups with logos on it. This is what they did at AfterBuzz TV, and I learned how Kevin Undergaro and Maria Menounos, how they built something really amazing.
Yes.
And then I was like, wow, okay, I want to hold that in my place as well. So you take all your life experiences, and don't forget these. They add to the future of your life. All of your life experiences add to your future life in some way, shape, or form.
Wow.
Or they put on the position that you can find a path for your destiny. Sometimes you are in a place it's like I'm supposed to be here, but then you find somebody and like, oh, everything makes sense now,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah. Just like you guys coming together.
Yeah.
Because when you had the idea for Serving with Purpose, was that before you guys met, or was this a podcast?
We
was
met,
the
but
idea?
we're not that close yet. So I wanted to do something. We were throwing ideas like what was gonna be. And then one day I was getting, a divorce, separation. And then I was like, I used to be a volunteer. I used to help the community. I need more friends like this. And she was a volunteer that work restaurants, and you have like different schedules than regular people, So some friends like, I'll have the weekend off. I don't have weekends off. I'm working on the weekends. So I need people on my schedule. There is a single mom. There is a volunteer. It's like, maybe I should get closer to her. And then she had a podcast. She was like, maybe we couldn't just, put everything together, like he's serving with purpose, we're serving the community, we're serving on our jobs. And that's how everything came together.
I love that. And once you find that like a partner in the game, especially that's a great creative that shows up, that makes things happen, you want to keep those people around you for as long as you can.
Right.
And eventually maybe that'll break off or whatever, but if you can cut out all the other people, especially if you're taking something seriously and you cut out all the other people that don't align with that might talk you out of it or whatever, you need like delusional people to be around you.
Exactly. Because you're living off of, like it's just a manifesting. Like I just know because I know because I know. Like it has no rhyme or reason. It may not. Everyone might not get it.
Yeah.
But we get it and we won't stop. So that's so important to align with someone like that.
Absolutely.
Instead of the wet blankets that are like, no, you can't do it, or what if, or what, none of that. Like there's no room for any doubt when you're pursuing your dreams.
Absolutely not.
But if there are doubt, you go anyway, then you're gonna find the answers along the journey, and everything's making sense.
Yeah, doubt creeps in. You got to be human at the end of the day,
Right.
Yes.
right? Something's gonna make you think, this is just not working out like it used to, or also like the world changes, right?
Yes.
Business has
We
actually been
change it,
kind of tough like the last few months, because first we're in the world of stars and entertainment, right? So one of our biggest products was doing TV show and film lookbooks so people could pitch their projects. But when the strike happens and you go from making 100 of those a year to 4, that's a lot of revenue that was funding a lot of your stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a whole year. Okay. Whew, didn't see that coming.
Right.
But once you have the mentality of like, all right, we're going to make this work no matter what, we're going to figure this out. You have to.
Right.
If you let that doubt creep in for too long, then you'll crumble.
Right.
So you have the strike, which came right after the pandemic,
Right.
which almost ended us too.
Right.
I had just bought podcast equipment right before the pandemic hit. Now I had to borrow the money for just 2 of these mics. They're still the same 2 mics, and this is actually the table that was in my bedroom when I first turned. The girl I was dating at the time, I was like, "Hey, I sold the bed and I got a futon and I put a desk in our room." She was like, "What?" I'm like, "I told you, I'm going all in on this." And she was like, "Okay, I'm down." And then eventually she wasn't down.
Okay.
So, but I want, that's why I keep this table. This is the same exact table.
I love it.
This
it's
was
a
literally
nice table.
Hey, IKEA. but that was, so I had just bought it because I was like, okay, I'm going to have people come in to my bedroom that's now in my office, and a 3-bedroom townhouse that there's 2 other roommates that I have.
Right.
So I hired an assistant at that time. She would come in and she was like, "Hey, do you spend more time in this room or your bedroom?" And I was like, this room.
Isn't my,
I didn't want to tell her. I didn't want the dynamic to be messed up.
Exactly.
I was like, "Oh yeah, this room."
Yeah, this room.
Yeah. So I bought the podcast equipment. Pandemic hits. Now we can't have people over. So you either fail or you evolve. I came up with a product called the Zoomcast. So we would have our clients who now had a lot of time on their hands and still had money, right? Some people still had money during that time.
Yeah, they did. I did.
Yeah.
Unemployment checks.
Yeah, those coming through, right? So how can we evolve? We did Zoomcast. They would do a Zoom interview with somebody. They'd record it, send it to us, and then we would put a graphic overlay over top of it, distribute it as a podcast, cut all the vertical videos for them, and that saved our company. Wow. We had like 4 of those going on at once, and otherwise we would have
just. I mean, yeah.
been done.
Yeah.
So pandemic hits. Oh shit, we lost 3 of our biggest clients when we only had like 4 clients.
No.
Okay, we're gonna have to go bankrupt. Okay, wait, let's evolve and think. Okay, cool.
Right.
We get out of that.
Okay.
Strike happens.
Right.
Yeah. Now a lot of our clientele doesn't have money because they don't have a job.
Because they don't have jobs, right?
Strike ends. Okay, cool. Last year we started rebuilding again. this year starts off, fires happen in the entertainment. Oh, okay. No, you can't.
Slow down.
Yeah, you slow down again. But life is going to throw these curveballs at you. That's what life is.
Right.
If you understand that and you love that part of the game too, then you can get through it.
Right.
And you eventually find yourself on the other side. You go, oh shit, we made it.
Yeah,
I
we
even
made
realized it. I had my head down. I was surrounded by amazing people, and let's continue growing. Because if you can stay calm in the chaos long enough, that's when the good things can happen. But if you crumble in the chaos, then nothing can happen because you're not ready for it. What were
You
you
guys
gonna say?
are very quick in finding new technologies.
You have to.
How you
yeah.
find it?
So I pride myself on, and we do as a team, to stay at the forefront of technology.
Yes.
So as soon as AI starts creeping in, we start testing everything, and then we start consulting on it. And if I need to bring somebody else in that's going to focus on that and consult on that, then great. Or if I'm going to have a team that then delivers to me what's going on in the world to help educate me, and then I can consult on it. But everything that happens, podcast became a thing, let's invest in podcast equipment. AI starts happening, let's start using it daily in our life and in our work life and automate our schedules. How can we continuously use these things so that we are in the know, so that we can teach other people to be as well? Because the thing I see most in our industry of using social media is that most people don't get on at the right time. They question Facebook. Nah, this is just for high school, or this is for college students
Or older folks.
Well,
Like
initially,
all of my-
initially,
in the beginning.
right?
Okay.
Initially, they're like, I'm not getting. I even said that. I said, I'm not doing MySpace. I'm not doing Facebook. What are you talking about? I moved to LA. I didn't have any friends, and I needed to talk to my friends and family back in Michigan. I started a Facebook and MySpace, but I was late to the party.
Gotcha.
But now I can put my photos. We can still interact, and then Facebook starts to mature. Once it matures, meaning getting older in the target demographic, Facebook still has the highest monthly active users. I think it's at like
Sure.
I think it's like 3 billion monthly active users.
For
MAU.
sure. Oh yeah. That doesn't surprise me at all.
So, but then the younger generation, once it gets too mature, they're like, screw this. I'm going to the next thing. Instagram comes out.
Instagram.
Grandma
Right.
starts getting there. It's
Exactly.
I know. I was
Yeah.
like, because everyone and their mama literally uses Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just the younger kids. It's like everybody.
Yeah. So when they jump off and they go to the next thing,
Right.
Instagram becomes the hot product.
Right.
Right. So then that becomes something. And all the people on Facebook that just matured, they're like, no, I'm on Facebook. I'm good. I don't need to go to another platform. Yes, you do. You need to try the next platform. And what you don't want to do is be one of the last people on it.
Yes.
Which now people are just now getting on Instagram, right? And
just getting on TikTok.
yeah, well, that's the thing.
Yes.
So then TikTok is, the thing is, the reason I'm talking about this is that you have to find a game plan to get ahead, create content consistently. That's what is great about doing a podcast, is because you do an hour-long show, you splice it into vertical videos. Now you schedule those out for the next 2 weeks. You don't have to think about it.
don't even
You
have
think about the third week or fourth week ahead.
Right.
But what we have to stop doing is being the last person on these platforms, because that's when they're oversaturated.
Yeah.
If we would have gotten onto TikTok, which we actually did, Mastermind Media, we were able to grow from zero to, I think we're at 270 or 230,000 on TikTok.
Wow.
Because we got on the right time.
Right.
We didn't wait till it got oversaturated and then try to grow. So you have to get on these platforms. As soon as TikTok was talking about getting banned and Red Note was a new thing, all right, let's go see what's happening on Red Note. But here's the thing, is that all of these platforms, they're all fighting for our attention. If they're fighting for our attention, they're going to incentivize you to use it. How do they do that? They have created an algorithm that's an interest graph. An interest graph means that when you put out a video, it's not going to just show to your social media following, just the people that follow you. It's going to show it to people that it thinks will find it interesting.
Okay.
So now TikTok, during the pandemic, they changed the algorithm to an interest graph. So when you're putting content out, it's now going to people that it thinks will find it interesting, and people are exploding on TikTok, getting way more viewership, way more following there. So Instagram is like, oh shit, we're losing all these people to TikTok. So they created an interest graph.
Paying better.
And they're paying better, yeah. So all of these, and then YouTube has YouTube Shorts, vertical videos, right? So right now the highest organic growth is on these vertical videos, but you never know which platform is going to go more viral for you, where you can build a bigger
Got on
community.
YouTube more viral.
Yeah, see,
Vertical, yes.
see that's what a great place to go viral, right? Or to be at,
100%, yeah.
because you can monetize so much more there. And
Get almost 1 million in one of the verticals.
yeah, wow. And but if you wouldn't have posted there and only posted on Instagram, you wouldn't know that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have several clients that went from like posting the same 100 videos grew from like 400 to 4,000 on Instagram, but then went from 0 to 150,000 on TikTok.
Yes.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
One of our clients, Roberta Dignore, she's brilliant. She thought everything was done for her. She's like, this is my last chapter. I'm 75 years old, 77 years old, whatever. And she heard me speak on Clubhouse when Clubhouse was big for a minute, right? She finally took us up on it. She just hit 100,000 followers on Instagram.
Wow.
Come on.
She's at 11,000 on TikTok, but the same videos. But that's the thing. If she would have only done TikTok,
the
she
double
wouldn't
work.
know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's the same video initially. That's the foundation, is putting the same video on all of these platforms to see where you're going to get the attention.
Got
And
it.
not care if he doesn't go viral. Who cares? Next one, next one,
Right.
next one. And that's how you can build a community. Now her next book that she drops, she's going to have 111,000 people, when she was so hesitant to even start a digital brand initially because she was 75 years old and didn't
Right,
think
and
that she had anything to offer. She's the perfect person to offer all of her life experience, and the internet loves her.
Oh, I love that. What a success.
Yeah.
You mentioned Mastermind Beauty. Where did that concept come from?
So that came from my sister.
Okay.
So yeah, I have a whole map, because our brains, we have all these ideas. I'm sure you have these ideas as well, and I employ people to go and write these things down. I like to do it in a pitch deck version, or even just a whiteboard, and just draw the arrows, right? So we have Mastermind
The
World.
cluster, and
yeah,
then just
you can
go
do that.
shoot out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I created my version of this, hey Tanner, can you quiet down over there, please?
Hi, Tanner.
Sorry, I was drawing arrows on the whiteboard.
So yeah, actually, I had somebody come to me at one point, and they were like, "Hey, listen, I have a billionaire that wants to invest into a collateralized opportunity. Means it has to be physical. It can't just be like an idea, like a movie initially. It has to be some like physical buildings and whatnot."
Okay.
And I said, "Give me 2 days." This deal never went through, but because he came to me with this opportunity, I was able to take everything out of my head and write it all down on a whiteboard and do the clusters and all of that, but then put it in pitch deck form. So I could elaborate on each of the ideas and put visuals based on that. Because we have Mastermind Media was the first thing, right? So that comes out. So Mastermind World is here. Then I was like, okay, Mastermind Media. I started Mastermind Music, Mastermind Sports, those digital entities, Mastermind Films. I have a Masterminds coffee shop. That's a coffee shop and podcast studio where you can like drink your coffee and watch your favorite podcaster behind a glass, soundproof glass. And also it's a co-working space, giving all my secrets out there, because if I don't do it, you go do it. And so I have all these ideas of things that I wanted to do, and Mastermind Beauty wasn't on there. My sister, who owns 2 salons with my family in Michigan, she came to me and she was having debilitating migraines and couldn't do hair anymore. So she had to figure out, she was now managing the salons, but she needed another income source, and she got really passionate about coaching people. And I would come into the salons and give advice on social media and branding and all of that. So she came to me and said, "Hey, I want to start this coaching company. I don't want to do it alone. Do you want to do this with me?" And it was an absolute no-brainer to me, because she has her salons and coaches her teams and has like just so great at creating culture and cultivating that in her companies. And she's just so wise, and they've had so much success. And then what we've done at Mastermind Media with our digital and branding and AI and all of those things, bringing that together into the beauty industry to help people make more money, but prioritize their wellness at the same time. Because in this world, it's so easy to get burned out. So we've created tools and a coaching system. Now we're doing seminars, and we come in, we number one, we set the foundation with mindset. Because if you want to get to the next level, if you want to break through this glass ceiling, it's going to take a different version of you to get through that. Because what got you here will not get you there, right? And everybody wants to break this glass ceiling, but they're doing the same habits that they did before.
Which is called insanity, right?
Yeah, insanity, right?
Doing
Doing
the
the
same
same
thing
thing.
over and
Exactly.
over again, expecting a different result.
Absolutely. So once we understand that, we say, okay, what's the style of person that I need to become? What are their habits? What's their mindset? What's their work ethic look like? Who are the people that surround them? Once you identify that and you lay the foundation in that, now we got something to work with. Until you're willing to be disciplined and to sacrifice, you're not ready. And oftentimes we need, for me, I know what I needed in the past was something like to kick me in the ass and say, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get my health together. I'm suffering over here. I'm finally going to stop. Right. Or a breakup. Breakups are amazing to start projects.
Incentives,
Amen.
right?
Thank you.
It is. I'm just going to focus on me now.
Yeah, it is. Now you can put all your time and effort
That
in
is
it.
a favorite recently single person's on.
If yeah,
It's going to take some time for me.
if you don't take advantage of the breakup,
Yeah.
and you just sulk and suffer,
Right. Through it.
you didn't do it right.
Right.
It's tough. It's right. You
Get
can't
another
sleep.
breakup.
It's- Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't want to do it on purpose because also having a great partner is also a great reason to start something new as well. So once you find the perfect partner and you can really make that happen, that's been amazing for me too.
Yes.
But a breakup was great for that. So once you have the mindset, and now you are willing to put that time and effort and sacrifice and patience into something to make it work. Now we need the right tools.
Right.
So what are those things? Because now I'm the person that can do these, but now what are the habits and what are the tools that I can actually use to make this dream happen? Well, there's social media, there's a business blueprint, really understanding the next level of the game. If you're on the internet right now, it says the beauty professionals only make $30,000 to $40,000 a year. And there's a couple
And these are
reasons for that.
billion-dollar company like Rihanna. Fenty. Come on.
So like when I say beauty professionals, I'm
Kylie.
saying like hairstylists, estheticians, all that. So but those brands are all part of the beauty industry, right? It's extremely lucrative.
Right, but I was just
Yeah,
making
like-
that, like, it's crazy the salary versus the product.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
So we find that to be untrue though.
Okay.
And I think that's telling a lot of people that what we find to be untrue is that $30,000 to $40,000 is not what the average hairstylist makes. It's actually because a lot of people potentially hide their money, their tips and all that kind of stuff, so that you don't see how much they're making.
Right.
There's a lot of new people in
Cash
the game.
only, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. That's not good about that is that say you're a salon that hides a lot of money, the valuation of the company can't be proven.
There you
so you're
go.
like, oh, I have $1 million. I'm selling my salon for $1 million. Like, okay, well, let's see how much money you bring in. Well, the books only say I bring in $150,000 a year, but so once you get your numbers, you actually pay the taxes on your actual numbers. Now you got something substantial that you can actually navigate the world with.
100%.
So now I got the right mindset. I know the tools how to actually make more money, which is basically understanding how much money you want to make, and then reverse engineering that. If I want to make $100,000 this year, I need to actually sell $200,000 because I'm going to give about half of that to product or to commission or whatever the case.
Absolutely.
And so now I need to make $200,000 in services. Okay, well let me reverse engineer that down to the month and then to the actual day. How much do I need to make each day? If you don't know that number, how can you ever hit a goal? So now you need a tool to hold you accountable. We created these planners where you see how much you need to hit that day. You put in, and this is all A plus B equals C, and you can do this in any business, by the way.
Right. I'm like,
If I need to sell $2,000 a day, and my books say I'm only making $1,200 today, well, I'm going to be short. So I better create new opportunities that day. I better do a social media post. I better do a newsletter. Maybe I tell Sally that's in the seat. I say, hey, I got time for this extra treatment if you want to do. So now what this is doing, it's gamifying the whole opportunity. So each day you come in and say, okay, let's see if I can hit my goal. And if you start hitting your goals more consistently, then you raise your goal. But now you actually know if you're going to get close to hitting your goal. Right? So we have to learn how to use social media properly. So, and I hear a lot of people saying, well, I didn't become a hairstylist to be a content creator. It's like, well, you do have to market yourself.
right.
You knew
and
that.
It's the easiest
And
form
this is
of
the best way.
marketing.
Yeah.
Right.
So what we do now is we give them the business blueprint, the right tools, and then we also teach them social media, but we use AI to integrate into all of that to ensure that they don't lose their mind in the process. You don't have to do all the tasks. You have AI to help supplement all of that. Now you're getting more done. You know what your numbers are. Now you're more likely to hit your goal, and that's how you break through the glass ceiling. You become that person.
Oh, okay. So what about that? This is all fantastic information,
Our
and thank you
minds are
so
like-
much. I know I'm like the emoji, literally. But
Tanner,
okay.
will you put that emoji on her head when she does
right,
that?
just with the sound effects, please. Thanks.
He's got something brewing.
Okay, so what about for a person like myself that I don't like to use the word hate, but I hate social media. I really do. I'm 42 3 years old. It's more of my daughter's thing. You know, I'm more of like a Judge Judy when it comes to we're just
Judge
old.
Judy?
Yes, we're
She has
old
great
school.
social media, by the way.
I know.
Does she?
She's doing amazing, but she hates it. I promise you. Someone's doing it for her. Her granddaughter, Sarah, is. I promise you. But I'm telling you, I second guess myself when I take pictures. I'm like, oh, you know, I'm looking at everybody else's stuff. It's all photographer, you know, like it looks professional and it's so well lit.
Yeah.
And it's this. And I get into my head and I'm like, you know what? I'm not posting nothing. It's not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Yeah.
What do you say to those people?
So the number one thing you have to do is fix your toxic relationship to social media.
Okay.
So, and the way that you do that is that you have to change your mindset around how you view it, because a lot of people view it that way.
Okay.
When you go into social media, you have to focus on the value that you're providing to change the world. So, like being a mother, you said she's 18 now,
24.
24.
I wish. I was like, that would have made me 6 years younger. Thanks.
Nah. You guys both look. You
better
probably look
now.
you guys look the same age.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, she looks like she's 12, and then
12,
I look
yeah.
like I'm, you know.
Good genes.
I mean, hey, that's what I told her. It's gonna pay
Yeah.
off later. Don't worry about it getting carded now, and you're gonna thank them later.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Love looking young till forever. That's
Right.
great. So if we like our goal on social media is how do I provide value to everyone else to inspire a generation based on the information that you hold within you from all of your years of expertise, right? So if that's my only focus, I don't, and you can lose the judgment of everyone else because no one is actually looking. Once you bring those two things together, then you're fearless and you can go out there and be amazing. And I remember this is what broke it for me. I had somebody took a picture of me one time, and they said it was a girlfriend at the time. She said, "Wow, I love this picture of you." And I hated the picture of me, and I said, "Wow, I must not be like a accurate judge for me." So once I lost that, now when people show me pictures, yeah, if you think it's good, it's good. I don't care. Sometimes I see pictures, I'm like, no, I don't like what I look like, but I don't care. Other people probably do. Or if I look stupid, so?
Right.
Because you have to put enough content out in the
Right.
worand
Seriously,
provide enough value. You need enough at-bats to actually get numbers. But if we're worried about the numbers and we're worried about what people think and we don't think we look good, we have a bad relationship to social media, so we can't even play in the game. Because even if you post a little bit and one of them goes viral and you finally get all of the attention you desire, you're going to crumble because you're not able to handle that pressure, because with good reviews comes bad reviews.
Oh my! And I'm so sensitive.
The GD video, like
Yeah.
with Adria, I told her like get out of internet right
No,
now.
Yeah.
I have to look down because I was responding in comments like,
Yeah.
"Oh, is that how you feel? Well, guess what?
Yeah, of
Now,
course,
Like,
yeah.
I'm a Cancer. What can I say? I'm sensitive.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I am. I
I
have
was
to
like,
get out
stop
of
it.
my
They're
own.
engaging. It's
She
money
was
for
just
us.
like,
Yeah.
Stop
yeah,
it.
she was like, girls, just
That's
thank them.
amazing.
And
And that's-
God bless
it's-
them. I'm
it's-
like, F them.
But that's so obviously, yeah, we've all been
Sochi
there.
friend.
We've all
We
been there a little
are.
bit, but we need to work on that.
Okay.
If you find yourself doing that, you got to do something. Just like you know when like, as I'm sure both of you are emotionally intelligent. Like, if you focus on emotional intelligence, especially being in relationships,
Yes.
you find like I used to find myself like one of my biggest negative traits is that I have a really sharp tongue, because I grew up short dude, didn't hit my growth spurt till 19, so I couldn't fight these other guys in high school, but I could talk shit like crazy.
Right.
And if you learn that at a young age, you get into a relationship and something happens and you could cut somebody down with 2 words. That's not a good trait anymore.
Yeah.
That's a survival instinct that's now ruining relationships. I've
Correct,
said so many things in past relationships where I felt so bad, and it was a big reason why maybe these relationships didn't work out. I had to evolve through that.
I don't feel bad.
But now what I can, but
They
learning
deserve-
through
She was
that.
Like, I meant every single word.
And that meaning again.
And I'll say it again. No, but I feel you,
You know,
though.
but
No,
what-
honestly.
my
You have
favorite moments in relationships is when I didn't, and even like work relationships. If I'm pissed at a client, if I don't say something right away, then I put my phone away. And I go, okay, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to respond, and then I'm like, you feel
business
totally
is
different.
You do feel totally different.
But I would say it's not different though. I would say, because in a relationship now, if Jai and I are having an argument, we'll say like, okay, this is actually isn't serving us, is not with purpose.
Yeah.
You
right.
know, so
You and
let's,
Tanner, for example.
yeah.
When you guys argue, tell me what happens.
We haven't stopped beefing since the day we met.
It's an ongoing beef.
Yeah. But I'm so proud of myself, or so proud of my partner in that moment when we're resolution based. And I still mess up from time to time, but I've become more emotionally intelligent, and I'm just better with my words. But that was a tough thing for a while. So I could say that on the internet all the time. And then by the end of the day, does it help or does it hurt? Because what you need to focus on, not on defense, like you were playing, you got to be on offense. What's the next video?
Right.
What's the next video? The next video. Okay. So if we can align with the value, what kind of value do you want to provide the world based on your experience in life?
I feel like the value I would add is just my authenticity of being who I am, because I have a story. All of us have a story, but all of the odds were pretty much against me, and I kind of raised myself.
Yeah.
So just with my intent, which
have you ever done a piece of content about that?
No, never. And I thought about that. I was going to ask, that was going to be my next question, is how would one find one's niche? You know, like, and
it comes down to who you are and what you want to tell the world.
You're actually a therapist at this point, Mark. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it's more, you're saying a lot of technical things, but it all goes back to the core of who you are and finding the greatness in everyone else and getting them to extract that or to see that.
Yeah, you have to figure out what is the value you're providing to the world, and sometimes that takes a lot of evolution.
Soul searching. I'm like, really, like, wow. I would have I want to say the right answer. But there is no right answer. And by the way, I look stupid. Like the other day, I sat down on Sunday. I did 16 videos. I recorded 16 videos right here. Woo. And I started with 12. But I sat down, and right before I sat down, I looked and I had I don't know if you guys saw my video. I didn't even plan to do this, but I had my mustache had a long hair here. So I went to go shave just the little hair. And it shaved too much. Try to shave everything. And Jai always, jokingly, every time I do that, Jai always comes in and goes, man, why are you always doing too much? And I can't leave you alone for 1 second.
Yeah, I know that so many men. Tanner, have you ever done something like that?
Oh, yeah.
And it just, you kind of just like, well, I guess I'm looking like this for the next week or two, right? So I sat down, and this is constant evolution. And I leave all my content over the years on the internet because I love seeing the evolution. I've got so much trash out there. The first music video I did, oh my God, it's horrible.
It's true.
I pulled my shirt up to show my abs at one point. Like, I was trying all the stops.
Can you have clips of that?
I know. He was feeling himself.
Yeah.
Mark was feeling thyself.
And it was the color correction was all yellow. It was bad. Like, I didn't just like wake up and like, I'm starting an agency and I got the money now. I'm gonna get these great lights. These lights, this was a new investment. We used to have different lighting in here. It wasn't as good. Right. It's good, better, best. So my whole life has been good, better, best. Maybe not even good, bad, good, better, best.
There we go.
And that's what I tell our clients all the time. You don't have to create horrible content because I already made all the mistakes for you. And you're still going to have to create these things, right? So when I sat down to do the videos, I noticed the hair. I went downstairs, I shaved it, I fucked my beard up. And then I come back up and I'm like, okay. I did this new style where I listen to music. The music that's going to be in the video, I listen to it in the headphones as I'm speaking because it helps me get inspired and speak and find my cadence rather than putting the music on after. So the first song was all like dark and, like just soul searching. So I had this idea and I just went with it and I said, I just did something that I don't think my girlfriend's ever going to forgive me for. And then I was like, and I tell the story and I act like I'm crying, right? Taking my acting chops with this moment with the music. And I put that out there. Let's just see what happens. If it could tank, I don't care. It could do amazing. Wow, good thing I tested that. Then, and I did but here's the thing, I had to be human. I had a thought, oh shit, what if this goes viral? And then everybody thinks that I only do joke content. And then they come to me for that. Then they get the serious motivational content or, personal development. Now it's the wrong like we had to think, you think that. And then eventually you go, bro, shut up. You don't know. Let's see. And so then I did like a bunch of other videos. In the moment, I had another idea for video, shot that one. I had all these ideas that were written down. So what I want you to do is sit down with yourself, put some good, like motivational, inspiring music on. And write just whatever comes to mind. Just write these ideas. It doesn't have to be full ideas out. Just write the concept or the topic, maybe a couple bullet points, and then turn on a different song and say, okay, what's making me think now? And take all of the negative things that have ever happened to you and show how you got through them to become the woman you are today. And then you're going to have content that's going to speak to so many people, because so many people are struggling. Maybe they have a 4-year-old right now. And when you had a moment where you raised yourself, now you raising your 4-year-old, maybe at one point you didn't think that, how am I ever going to do this? And you figured it out. Those are the life lessons that the next generation needs. And you're currently holding them all within you, when you could be helping other people through your social media platform. But because you have a negative relationship with it, you're not helping those people.
Everybody of all this goodness.
All the goodness. It's really what it is.
That's exactly what it is, Mark.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And guess what? When somebody DMs you
Yes.
and they say, oh my God, thank you so much for putting this out there. I learned so much from this. It changed my life. That's all that matters, that one person.
Yeah.
That's the game.
Aw, thank you.
So that's what we got to focus on. And you're going to have other ideas, things that creep up. And like, I've had the internet, I've had 80% of people love a project that I put out. The other 20% of the people hated it. They put it on Reddit cringe. And then they started coming for me saying like, who do you think you are? How high were you when you created this idea? And I had a moment where I was like, oh, I just ruined my whole career. This is my first time directing a bigger project. I put it out there. And these people hate it. I wasn't looking at the 80% of the people that were loving it. Only the people that were saying I was an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Got bad press. All over the world, I was getting articles written about how stoned I must have been and what kind of idiot would come up with this idea.
Oh, goodness.
But that's, as I grew through that, initially, it was a World Star. They came for me on World Star.
Oh, excuse me.
And once I got through that, it was a tough moment. But once I got through it, I was like, that's the type of artist I want to become. I don't ever want to do anything in a filmmaking perspective that everybody loves. Because for me, I want to take a strategic element, flip it on its ear, tell it in a different lens, because that's who I am. I'm not just somebody that's just going to do something down the middle so that the studios will pick it up and say, all right, well, let's do another thing. Let's just cross our fingers and hopefully this is going to work out because it worked out before.
Right.
I want to come in from a different angle because I'm a different person. I have a different vision on this world. And I want to inject my vision into that. And that might make people hate me.
Right.
When was do you
some
love
people
all
nowadays have an agenda, right? Of hating and
just
their
to put you down.
groups.
Yeah.
If you're not on their group, you're their enemy. They don't have like a middle.
Absolutely.
term, like,
Yeah. Well, have you seen all of Jordan Peele's movies?
Oh, you have, yes.
Do you love all of them?
No.
Did you love Get Out?
I loved Get Out. I did not like Dope.
Right.
Monkey
nope.
Man.
Nope.
Nope. Dope. I'm the dope.
Right. But here's the thing.
No.
But here's the thing. Do you think that he sucks?
No, I think he's amazing.
Okay, so if you put out a piece of content and people love it, and the next day you put out some content and people hate it,
Right.
how are you going to feel about yourself that day?
I
I'm
mean,
gonna think you suck.
that day.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
So every time you think of that, think about Jordan Peele because he's an undeniable, like he takes risks
Oh,
and does
man.
unique stuff. And guess what? If the market loves it or not, doesn't matter. He's out there swinging
You're right.
and he's
is.
doing stuff like, but even though you didn't like Nope,
I liked Us.
right? You liked Us, right? But can you see how like some of the elements of Nope that you did like, right? Like maybe
I did.
visually
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
appealing and
Oh,
yeah.
and I liked, yes, I did like the monkey and that whole little story
So
about
strategic,
that.
yeah.
It was.
So,
It was
but
very
may-
interesting.
But as a whole, maybe it didn't hit it for you.
yeah. But it
but-
wasn't terrible. But yeah, no.
But you know, and
yeah.
it's hard as hell to make a great film,
It is.
right? So,
I
just
would
Making any
never-
film,
yeah.
making
Yeah.
bad films are hard. too.
Yeah.
Right.
So
No,
he did,
honestly.
but he did Get Out, and like wow,
man,
so
nailed it.
brilliant.
I saw that. I can recite that movie.
Yeah.
That's how many times.
So
I
we got to be
watched
Jordan Peele in this game. We gotta we gotta come out here. We gotta be creative. We gotta be different. We gotta lean into our authenticity.
It. Yes.
And as we talked, like before we got on, we talked about like not liking how we sound when you first start speaking and stuff. I didn't like how I spoke either, and then I was trying to change the way I spoke and would go into a meeting and try to be this different person.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wear a hat because it's professional. I should wear a suit. I should do whatever. That's not me.
Right.
And then if I can just go in and be me and I give myself just the courage to be myself in every room, then I can go in there and do whatever I want.
Exactly. Because you own the room.
Yeah. And
their
they're going to love me or they
confidence,
hate me, but they're not going to say, oh, he's just like this other person.
Right. Exactly.
So you got to die on your own sword when it comes to all this stuff, but you got to put the effort and the time. And then, so like the strategic things of social media, getting ahead of the game and having enough content that's already scheduled out on all of the platforms for the next month and work on the next month after that to give yourself some breathing room.
Right.
But then when it comes out or when you're creating the content, it's got to have part of your soul in it and part of value. You have to provide value to a certain target demographic. And when you bring those two worlds together, then you actually got a shot. Then let's see what the market decides on your next Jordan Peele movie.
Right.
But are you still going to go see the next one?
Yes. Absolutely.
That's it. People are going to still keep on showing up.
Absolutely. Anything he puts out, I'm going to go see because I love him. Yeah. Shout out to Jordan Peele, honey.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the game.
Here.
Wow, Mark, this has been insane. And
Does
this
it make
time
sense?
yes. There's so many jewels and bullet points that I wanted to go over, but I just have some real soul searching to do. What would you say would be your advice to one that just has no idea where to begin? Do you know what I mean?
Starting out.
Yeah,
right now.
okay, I'm starting out. I want to do this. I'm not sure. My confidence is a little low. How do I find out what I want? Or, I don't know if I'm asking it properly, but
No,
basically just, how do you see the best in somebody or get them to see the best in them? Or how would one target that to say, I don't even have any idea. I know that I have a purpose, but that I'm supposed to fulfill or a voice or something to say. I just don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Or where to begin.
So you have to love what you do in some way. And sometimes I got lucky, right? Ricky Vervell told me to go take drama class to go chill in there. But here's the
Chill
thing.
on the couch.
I eventually took public speaking as well, though. The next year I took public speaking. And now I public speak. And I write films. And I act and all of these different things. But if I didn't go into that class, or if I was scared to do that lip sync and say, people are going to judge me. Like, what do you mean I did choreography? I don't know choreography. But one of my biggest strengths is that I don't give a fuck. I literally... I think something's cool. I put it out. I look back at it 10 years later. I'm like, yeah, that was not cool, man. It was not good. But I don't care. I don't have that fear within that. Right. So you have to at least sit down and say, what do I like to do? Because you need a vehicle.
Right.
If you don't have a vehicle, then you don't have anything to put your message through. Or say if you're young, maybe you don't even know what you don't have any value to provide yet. You could maybe talk about something that you like,
older,
sports.
Right?
Yeah.
When we start brainstorm like the ideas of the podcast, we had so many ideas. Until the real one came.
Sure. And so you can go two different ways, and I don't think either of them. It doesn't matter what you choose. You either find a niche, something that you really do like, or you try everything to see what sticks.
Right.
Like I said, I got into the game with acting. Then I got to LA. I started writing songs about girls and not telling anybody. And then I started performing them. Then I started liking them. And then guess what? Somebody asked me if I wanted to do a music showcase, and I said, okay, cool, I'll do that. Got into doing a music showcase. When I did the music showcase, they said, hey, do you want to do an open mic here and host it weekly? I was like, all right, I'll do that. They're like, we really liked your presence on stage. I didn't think I'm going to go to LA and start an open mic. So then I started doing an open mic, and people started coming in and really great artists. And then somebody said, hey, do you want to start hosting an after show for American Idol and The Voice? I was like, I'll try. Let's see if I can do that. Then I started meeting people on American Idol and The Voice and then having them come do my music showcases.
Yes.
So you have to go through life connecting the dots.
Yes.
And not being afraid of what's going to happen. Try it.
Right.
Hang out with different people.
Right.
Try different things. Travel. Go into debt. Before I started Mastermind Media, I had so much credit card debt that I was paying the minimums on. And the girl that I was dating at the time was like, just forget it. Don't even think about it. I'm like, I can't ruin my credit score. We broke up. Had this bottom moment, and I was like rock bottom, and then I was like, well, I can't just keep on working and then paying off the minimums on these, so I didn't pay off any of my debt. And the credit card companies calling me at the griddle, hey, is this Mark? You owe somebody money. So embarrassing. But I needed to change my overly calculated way of thinking. And once I changed that based on taking one note from this girl that I was dating at the time, it birthed a new version of me. Okay, I'm at this point, and I don't care if the credit companies are calling me. Eventually, all that credit fell off.
Right. Hey.
7 years is a long time when you're in it, but once it goes, you're like, wow, that kind of went by fast. I can start from scratch.
Hey, 820 over here, huh?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I wouldn't be able to try to connect all these dots if I was overworking myself and paying for something that was holding me down.
Right.
So
Hamster
you
wheel.
have to challenge your worldview. If you're not challenging it, then you're stuck in this bubble and you're always going to be there. So then I let myself, okay, go out there and do whatever. Then I started connecting all of these different dots. And then over time, I was able to figure it out. So you either have something that you're interested in and you go down that lane and you see where that takes you and be willing to say, all right, tell me if I need to go this way or this way. If I'm actually interested in this. Does that mean that I failed at acting, that I didn't do acting?
Can do more than one.
Exactly.
Right, absolutely.
And maybe
This is
down the
America.
line, I stopped acting for like 7 years. So after we even met that time, I stopped acting because I was like, okay, I'm going to build this agency. And I knew at this point, I couldn't do everything. I needed to take all that time that I was acting into putting into the company. I started writing my own films and whatnot, but I knew that I couldn't be auditioning and starting a company and writing screenplays because there's not enough time in the day. So you would just become decent at all of these things.
Exactly. And you have to start delegating things.
Yeah,
You have
sure.
to find people like we found you, because imagine if you have to put the cameras, editing, looking for the guests, and we are already overwhelmed with
Yeah.
everything. Now we need to find sponsors. Now we need to find like social media content and doing the shorts. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So we are very thankful that there are companies like yours that help so much and take so much time from our hands.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
we
But that-
couldn't
yeah,
have done
so-
it without you.
But that's, yeah, exactly. So like based on your guys' formula, really when you come together is how do you find your formula? Based on you guys coming together, what was the formula? What are your options? Let's see what we can make happen. That's what's so great about having people around you or collaborating with people.
Nice.
And the last note when you're collaborating with people, so based on like, how do you find your path? You find it by surrounding yourself with the right people and trying things that you like. And then if you don't know what you like, go try things to figure out if you like any of these things.
There you go.
But because you can do a brand around anything these days.
Exactly.
So that doesn't matter. But then once you do create something, the last note that I'll give you is that you should always have a collaboration agreement with anybody that you do business with.
Okay.
So I've written a screenplay with somebody, and then it finally got to a point where they couldn't write the film anymore. But then they were kind of holding it hostage. Well, you can't go bring another writer on. I was like, well, you're not writing this anymore. I need to find somebody else. Well, am I still going to get credit? All this stuff. We don't have any stipulations.
Right.
So anytime you go into any business venture, especially creative endeavor, you want to get a collaboration agreement. What if this happens? What if you can't do it anymore? What if I can't do it anymore? What if like we bring a third party on? What are the stipulations so that we both know when money gets involved that we're on the same page?
Yes. Oh, I love that. And that's a whole nother, not can of worms,
Gonna
but
have to
a
do a
whole
part
nother
two,
side.
right?
Yeah, that's a part two, which would be the business side.
Yeah, yeah.
So where people find you, Mark?
You can find me right here.
Instagram. Like, hello. Okay,
Yeah.
don't call the stalkers, please. Right, Tanner?
Due to legal reasons, I can't disclose that.
So yeah, you can find me, Mark Rodriguez TV, and us at Mastermind Media everywhere.
And that's Rodriguez with a Z, not a S.
Correct.
Yes.
And a G with and not a Q.
Oh, there you go. Hello.
I've been spelling that wrong this whole time.
Mark with a K, not a C.
Right.
I'm gonna have to introduce myself that way from now on.
Yes. Oh, no. Don't do it. That's
Do it.
not you. Thank you so much,
Oh, my
Mark. You have
pleasure.
given me so many great points.
I'm
And
gonna do some homework
right.
after.
And soul searching.
Free
and
yourself.
thinking.
Free
You know
yourself
what
from
I
all this.
mean?
The world needs it. We need more positivity. There's a lot of negativity out there, and you have it. Ooh, you have so many
and that's
lessons.
what's blowing up. And that's why I'm like, no, we have to change the game on that one. We're going to bring our
Yes.
positivity and our good energy and blessings and everything else. Yes. 25
I
is
have a
our year.
message.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Sean William Scott, call me. Say
Oh,
his
Sean
name.
William
Yeah,
Scott.
I
Sean
can say
William
your name.
Scott, a.k.a. Stifler. Please give Carolina Schumann a call. She is waiting.
We need you on the show.
We need you on the
Yes.
show. Please. I would love to interview you. All right. Thank you so much, Mark.
Oh, my
Don't
pleasure.
forget to
the
like,
best.
subscribe.
Oh, yeah,
And
click
we'll
like.
be here soon.
Yeah, all that. What she just said. Click like, subscribe, comment.
Everything.
And we love you, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye.